Welcome everybody to another episode of Flicks and Chill. I know it's been a while, but hopefully it's been worth it because we have a new member here with us today. I'll let him introduce himself in a second. As always though, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to our SoundCloud so you can hear the whole podcast, because if you're just watching this on YouTube, you're only going to see up to 15 minutes, and it'll probably be the first 15 minutes just for the sake of, having a fluid conversation throughout the whole thing. But we'd love you guys to hear the whole thing because we have a great 3 topics for you today regarding Star Trek, Divergent, and Rogue One. So definitely go over to SoundCloud, and without further ado, I'll let our members here introduce themselves. So I guess we'll have James introduce himself first.
Sure. What's going on, everybody? This is James Beveridge. I'm one of the newest people around here. I'm looking forward to talking with you guys and looking forward to the different subjects that we shall be diving into.
Oh, it's Everything with GT. I've been on probably the majority of these podcast episodes. Yeah.
I'm Luke. I've been on a few. I don't remember how many, but I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's what matters.
Luke, very enthusiastic as always.
Very enthusiastic. I'm always glad to be here.
Yeah, I mean he brings his own unique essence to the podcast. I do want to address though. So we had recorded an episode previously. I think it was a great episode, conversation wise. Unfortunately, the quality of it got kind of messed up. Kind of corrupted at some part, but hopefully this one fares better. But one thing I addressed in the last podcast was a comment from someone saying that our title and the thumbnails looks like Fucks and Chill instead of Flicks and Chill. To that I just want to respond, I can't really do much about it. I mean, it's literally an L and an I. I mean, if you can't see, I mean, I even have a stroke over it, and if you don't know what a stroke is, basically it's like a shell around each text, kind of like a force field around each text, if you want to think of it like that. So I mean, if you can't see that stroke, then I don't know what to say, because there's definitely a barrier between that L and that I. I mean, your mind will think what it wants, I guess. But moving on, our 3 topics today, as you could probably kind of guess by the title, description, or the images on the screen. It is the first one, Star Trek. We're talking about Chris Hemsworth being confirmed for Star Trek 4, which is actually a pretty big deal, and we'll get into that when we talk about it more in depth. The second one is Divergent. We're not talking about how much we love this series, because I don't think any of us do love it. We're talking about the fact that it's probably going to get a TV movie to end the series off, which is actually a huge deal. It has ramifications for other series and other franchises as well, which we'll get into later also. And the third one, last but not least, is Star Wars Rogue One. We're going to talk about Darth Vader and his kind of, role potentially in that movie. So getting on to the first topic, we have Chris Hemsworth. So I'm actually really excited for this. First off, I didn't know they were making a Star Trek 4 in the whole Abrams universe thing. I thought they were wrapping it up because they're making a new TV show for Star Trek. So I was kind of surprised when Abrams announced this. I was even more so surprised they're announcing Chris Hemsworth in it, because he's playing, Kirk's father, which he played in the 2009 movie. And I understand they're probably doing this because Chris Hemsworth's a much bigger star now than he was before. But I mean, it's just regardless, I'm surprised they're doing this, because that means they're doing another time travel element kind of story. And I never thought they were going to do that again, because that's kind of like a big critique on the Abrams franchise I've heard, is that it's not enough like the older Star Trek works about exploration and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a big criticism of Abrams Star Trek films I've heard is that it's too much of a, your standard sci-fi kind of movie that would have like a time travel element into it, or would have like, the action, the more actiony adventure than explorational stuff that we got with, Into Darkness, things like that. So on one hand, I'm excited, but on the other hand, I'm kind of not excited, because I've heard the Justin Lin directed Star Trek Beyond that's coming out, I think this weekend, as of when we're recording this. I've heard that one does a good job of being new and fresh, but at the same time, having that kind of feel of the older Star Trek works. So I feel like they're kind of going to go against that, which is something a lot of people are obviously responding well to, because it's doing very well in reviews. So what are you guys' thoughts on it, though? You guys excited? Do you guys have any hesitations at all? Like, what are you guys thinking?
Um. Well, just it's coming. It's coming back. Get hype, I guess. I don't. Well, why don't y'all talk about it? I've actually never seen a James Abrams Star Trek movie.
What?
Same for me. So, you know.
Wait, so you're telling me I told you guys this was our topic, and you guys didn't? None of you said I've never seen this.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it didn't stop us before from talking about shit we don't know. So I mean.
So Josh, you'll be happy to know that I have seen the Abrams Star Trek movies.
Thank God.
I've seen all of them except for Beyond. I want to try to see that this weekend. I want to maybe either on a Saturday or Monday or whichever. You know, I'll admit I'm not too huge of a Star Trek fan myself. I'm more of a Star Wars person. But with these new Star Trek movies, I really enjoyed them a lot. The first one I thought was really fun. Into Darkness I thought was really great. I know a lot of people. There were some people who had complaints about the ending, how it was too similar to the Wrath of Khan. And I've seen like the older Star Trek movies, some of the older episodes, and I think they're really good. I mean, again, I don't consider myself like a Trekkie per se, but I still think it's very quality stuff. Now, with regards to Chris Hemsworth in the sports Star Trek movie, I think it can actually work. I'm thinking either they can do one of two things. One, they can make this a prequel movie, so we'll see Chris Hemsworth character, sort of his time in Starfleet Command, what his role is, what his role was in the Federation and Starfleet. The other thing they could do is they could bring back that time travel element again. Maybe Kirk manages to go back in time and actually meets his father, and he has to deal with not knowing him, and how much of him is he like? What can he learn from him? What can the father learn from him? But I think I'll have to see Star Trek 3 to see, to decide of myself, if it's good to end it there or would it be a good idea to continue on. I'm also kind of surprised they're continuing on, given the recent passing of Anton Yelchin. I'm sure they'll find a way to continue on. I think I would probably prefer to see a prequel series. I think that would probably be the best way to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll talk a little bit about it since I know about it. I just haven't seen it, but I think mostly the Anton Yelchin part is just kind of like very much surprised because that character is very much pivotal to, I guess maybe not necessarily pivotal to Star Trek, but he is an important character. But
right,
I think it makes more sense if they're doing like traveling back in time, so not every character needs to be there. So I think that's a cool direction to go on.
Right, so what they'll probably have to do then is they're going to have to find a way to kill off his character. They'll probably have to put an explanation as to why he's not there. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to say, oh, he retired on some planet, or say, oh, we lost him during such and such mission.
Or he just quit, like the whole Paul Walker. He just didn't want to do it anymore.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they could do that. But I guess we'll have to see. I mean, even Abrams said that he was against recasting Anton Yelchin. He said that it would be a huge disservice.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3 movies in, and we all know what happened. It's just kind of like, it would be weird. It'd be really weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I agree, definitely. Luke, do you have any feelings at all on the Star Trek series? The Abrams one.
They're very pretty. They go into space. They go into space a lot, so that's cool. I honestly have nothing to add to this conversation. I know next to nothing about Star Trek in general.
Well, speaking of things that have nothing to add to our society as a whole in a positive manner, Divergent.
That segue though.
So that shade I just threw. You could cover the whole world with that, but Divergent. I've never been a fan of that series. I won't hide it. And it's not the actors. I don't care about the actors that much necessarily that are in it. I don't think they're anything spectacular. I mean, Miles Teller I think is a great actor. Shailene Woodley, I think, is a great actor in her own right too. Everybody else, I can't really remember who's in it. However, the first two Divergent movies, they did decent. They did good box office, enough to warrant a sequel. The third Divergent movie, however, did like half of those numbers, like half of the first and second movie numbers. Not combined either. I'm talking individually, which is bad, obviously. So the thing going around that's being talked around in the circuits, media circuits, is that the fourth Divergent movie that they were planning on making will not be a theatrical release. It will be a TV movie release. Not even a Netflix release either. It's just going to be a straight-to-TV release. No channels have been mentioned yet, even though I'm sure, the Lifetime channel would happily take them, or Oxygen would take them. But
Oh no.
I'm just throwing so much shade at them. Jeez. But anyways, yeah, this is a huge deal because, pushing that aside, the fact that, Divergent's going to be a TV movie, if they pull this off, this might inspire other studios to make sequels to stuff just to wrap up the franchise in a TV movie format. We don't usually see that often. That usually doesn't happen. For a series that's supposed to be, as big as Divergent was supposed to be. Like, Divergent was supposed to be Lionsgate's new Twilight, you know what I mean? It was supposed to be that new teen sensation, which obviously, I guess it wasn't. So, what are you guys' thoughts on it, though? Like, do you guys care about this series? I'm happy it might be a TV movie just because I won't have to look at a poster for it in the movie theaters, because I remember seeing the last movie theater poster for months and just thinking to myself, this movie sucks. But,
Well,
I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
it kind of says a lot about the series that its finale is basically a fucking TV movie. So, I mean, it tells you just how much of an audience was actually there from the very beginning. And I think I've actually read one of the books. Kind of glad that I only saw one movie, because a whole series based around that, yikes. That can't have been easy for people to sit through.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said it's a reactionary series, like there's certain movie franchises they make, like the MCU would be one, Harry Potter would be one, for example. Those are what I call productive franchises, not productive as in their catalog or, in the quality of film, but productive in the fact that they start a trend. Harry Potter started a trend of adapting all these book franchises to movie franchises, like we got like the Twilight sensation, and all that other stuff, and like that also kind of opened up eventually as the characters got older. The teen audience grew, and all of a sudden the teen sensation became huge with Twilight, which Twilight really capitalized on that. Twilight went from being a reactionary kind of series to kind of a productive series in that sense, if you follow my terms at least, and the fact that the way it kind of capitalized and really manipulated that teen audience into becoming its real fan base. I mean, you had the Team Edward, the Team Jacob shit, like they milked that. Like they really worked that teen audience. And then, from those ashes, we have stuff like Divergent, which was basically made to kind of hop on that train, which is why I call it a reactionary series, just like the DC cinematic universe would be considered a reactionary series, just like, the monster movie franchise thing they're trying to make with like Dracula and Frankenstein. That'd be a reactionary series because they're just trying to, and Sony with when they were trying to do a Spider-Man, franchise, those will all be reactionary things. So they're trying to hop on the the bandwagon of the like the cinematic universe thing that Marvel got really popular. Even though technically I believe Alien and Predator were the first major cinematic universe, but that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I've never liked Divergent from the start because of that, because I feel like it really had no purpose besides trying to hop on a trend. Also, the fact that I just can't see Shailene Woodley like leading a movie. I just can't. Like she's just so reserved. You know what I mean? Like I just like she doesn't really have that like that charisma. Like I just feel like when I see her in a movie, I don't think she's a bad actress, but I don't feel like she can hold the movie up. You know what I mean? Like
it's because like she is that like shy girl next door in a way. Like she's very, and that shows very much in that show she was on, Life of an American Teenager, when she played a pregnant.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I never saw that. I mean, I heard about it, but I never saw it.
Yeah, I remember I saw that show first, and then seeing her go on the big screen, especially in that role, I was like, oh, this is something, because she's very, even in person, I've seen interviews, she is very like reserved and stuff. Like I guess she's like just like every other person, but yeah, seeing her play like a Katniss Everdeen type role, it's just kind of like I don't know too much about this, and yeah, like what Luke said, really shows like this is the finale, but they're showing it on TV. And I think another big reason the fan base wasn't strong enough, and the movies were definitely going down in quality, and you could tell, like even just from the trailers. That's why I was just like, no, no, thank you. But I hope this doesn't start a trend though of like ending series on TV, because I wouldn't want like the Last Airbender 2 on TV, or like Dragon Ball Evolution 2 on TV, or like whatever.
Okay,
BS2.
hold up. They did. Wait, BVS 2?
I don't need any of it.
Yes, the second one that they'll be making is called Justice League, Antoine.
It goes straight on the CW.
Batman v Superman. Rise of Justice. We're not dawning justice, we're rising justice now.
God.
Yes, the rising of the tides.
But even
Justice
with this
burns
last
like the
film,
sun.
even with this last film, you know it's going to be such bad quality to be on TV. Come
Well,
on.
I mean, you know,
It's not even worth
as opposed to the great quality of the other.
But at least she was like
movies.
jumping out of buildings and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I guess so.
you
I mean,
get-
she
but-
can still jump out of buildings on TV. That's like not gonna.
Yeah.
Watch them have like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. level like budget.
That's what I think. But I just think it's not worth it. Just don't do it anymore. Just
No,
Just
people
either make a
need
spin-off TV series or just don't do the movie. Like, why even do the movie?
it. People need
It's-
it now. They're clamoring
No.
for it.
No,
They do.
they can keep that. They can keep it.
Wait. I want to hear James's thoughts on this, because he's been like really quiet. He isn't like he hasn't won the hop in the cage yet about this. So like, James, what are your thoughts?
No, I mean, like, you guys been entertained to listen. I mean, the Divergent, it just exists. I don't really care for it. I mean, I remember when the first one came out, I was just like, okay, this looks like the poor man's version of the Hunger Games, and sure enough, that's what it was. And I mean, you know, I remember when they came out to theaters. The first one came to theaters. It came and went. Same with the second one. And then I noticed with the third one, it's like, okay, I think they're starting to. I'm starting to see some fatigue here, because I didn't see a whole lot of people come to buy tickets, or when I would come to clean theaters, like they weren't that full. So I could tell, like, okay, they're definitely in a lot of trouble. I don't know how they can do another movie unless they wait a couple years and build the funds up. And then I hear they're doing a TV movie. It's just like, okay, they've given up. They're pretty much done. They just want to get it out of the way.
Right.
They just want to finish up those contracts.
Yeah, they just want to finish everything up. They just want to move on. They want some sort of closure. And if getting it on TV is good enough, then that's what they'll do. Maybe, you know, they'll probably have it on ABC Family. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, Freeform. That's what they call it. They'll put it on there, and it'll just be one of those blips on TV that nobody's gonna pay attention to.
Damn, that was harsh. Actually, that was pretty. That's pretty like pretty cold blooded. Like I thought.
That's
I,
accurate.
I,
you're
That's
not-
being-
you're not-
that's
Well,
true.
You're not allowed to.
I don't really.
You're not allowed to.
I don't
say
really. I don't really care. I don't really care about the series. If it wants to do that, great, have at it. I really don't care.
Well, you know what? There are people that care, James, and you're being way too harsh on it, quite frankly.
Well, good for them. They can have that, and I can have my own mediocre.
You can have
mediocre
JJ. You
trash.
can have JJ Abrams Star Trek.
Exactly. I will gladly have my J.J. Abrams Star
Well,
Trek.
speaking of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, which has been called a poor man's Star Wars before, Rogue One. So we.
Yes.
That was awful.
So Rogue One. Hey, I'm not as bad as Will. So
That's true.
Rogue One is coming out, and the hype has been building up for it. You know, we had the Star Wars celebration stuff going on, you know, a few days ago as of when we're recording this. That was crazy awesome, actually. I watched the hour-long Mark Hamill panel. That was probably one of the most entertaining panels I've ever seen before. Like,
that was
the
amazing.
dude is just like he loves his role, you know, in the entertainment industry, and it really shows. Unlike, you know, some other people that are just like, you know, he's not there so he doesn't get fined. He's actually there because he loves being there. So
Right, yeah.
Darth Vader, though, we know he's in Rogue One. They just recently actually confirmed his appearance. You know, it's been rumored for a while, but they finally confirmed he will be in Rogue One. They haven't showed much of Rogue One. How much do you guys think Darth Vader is going to be in it? Because I personally think Darth Vader is going to be in it a good amount, just because of the nature of his character. I mean, I told you guys this before I started recording, but I mean, this is Darth Vader, one of the most famous villains, famous antagonists, famous characters in general in all of, you know, cinema history. I mean, he's iconic to, you know, a degree that some characters will never reach in their lifetime, both past, present, and future in film. So when you have him in the movie, especially in this time period, which a lot of people consider is his prime, so to speak, with the technology we have today too, because the technology we had before, you know, when Darth Vader was on film, you couldn't really show his full capabilities. You know what I mean? Like, when he got shot, when he was in Cloud City, you know, he couldn't do what Kylo Ren did to stop the bolt in midair like that. Like, that was a really cool scene. Darth Vader did that version that you could do back then with the technology. So, like, it basically hit his glove and then, like, dissipated, which was, like, that version of, you know, stopping the bolt in midair. But you could actually have Darth Vader stopping the bolt in midair now. You could actually have Darth Vader really showing, you know, what made him so feared. So I feel like they're not going to risk, you know, that opportunity, especially because the Rebels seem to have, you know, I kind of rewatched The New Hope the other day, and the Rebels seem to have a quite good grasp on the lethalness of Darth Vader, you know, on the danger of Darth Vader. And I feel like this movie may be what they use to kind of give that history, so to speak, between the Rebels and Darth Vader. Since this seems like the Rebels' real first kind of confrontation with the Empire, so to speak. Like, it feels like this is the first time they really presented themselves as a true resistance in the Star Wars universe. But yeah, with that being said, just due to the gravity of the character of Darth Vader, I can't see them wasting him. I feel like if he's going to be in it, they're going to use him, you know, respectfully, and they're going to use him effectively. Or it's one of those scenarios that, like, if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. So what is your guys' thoughts?
So I am really excited for this. I've been paying attention to, like, all the Rogue One stuff. Like, as soon as that first trailer came out, I was immediately hyped. And then like last Sunday, they said they were during a Star Wars celebration, they said they were supposed to release a new Star Wars trailer. They were supposed to air it during the special behind the scenes look at Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It was kind of false advertising, because what we got was, because earlier during that day they showed this sizzle reel, which was behind the scenes footage of Rogue One, which looked amazing. Like, if you look at some of the stuff that they're doing, I think it's going to be really cool. So I was very disappointed we didn't get that trailer. Although I did see, like, a leaked video of, like, I guess someone, like, was able to snap footage of, like, the trailer that was shown at Star Wars Celebration. And at the end of that trailer, there's actually, like, a silhouette of Darth Vader, and the crowd started going wild. And I think they are gonna have him play a significant role. I don't think it's going to be as big, because I think the main villain focus is going to be on Director Krennic. That's the main villain of Rogue One. But I think Vader's just going to be there, you know, to be behind the scenes. He's going to be the puppet master that, like, pulls the strings, and in this case, he's going to be pulling the strings of Director Krennic. And plus, you know, they got James Earl Jones to voice the character again, so you know that they're putting a lot of effort into this. I'm hoping that we see another trailer in the future that shows maybe a little bit more of Darth Vader. But yeah, I think overall, I think they have an idea of how to use him, and I look forward to see what they do.
Awesome. I guess no one else was gonna say. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars. I wouldn't even say I'm a casual fan of Star Wars.
Are you a Trekkie? No, you can't be a Trekkie. So what are you then?
I saw episodes of Star Wars. I thought 4 was good. I thought 5 was great. And I thought 6 was awful. But, you know, Darth Vader was always really cool. And I gotta say, I know he's gonna be in Rogue One. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think less is more with Darth Vader. I don't want him to be like on the screen every few minutes just saying, "Oh, those dastardly rogues getting away." Like, no, like that's stupid. I just feel like he's gonna be like this kind of force in the background that they're gonna constantly be evading Empire sort of task forces and whatever. I know he's not the main villain, but like they're gonna be evading all of this stuff, and I'm gonna hope that like in the background they're just saying like, well, thank God Vader's not after us. And like my hope is that the last scene of the movie is just that they get the plans out and they're all celebrating, and then the door just opens and they all just see Vader standing there and his lightsaber comes out, and it's just, you know, they're all dead.
Yeah, then
I
he
just
starts
wanted to
punishing them.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I
that
think
would be
the thing,
amazing. Actually, Darth Vader like just kills all of them.
no, but I mean, I'm sure he is, but like, my thing is just that with Darth Vader, like we've seen him kind of have this sort of campy role in the original Star Wars, where he's basically just, you know, he's the bad guy because he's a bad guy. He comes in, he's just, I have you now, or you need to turn to the dark side, and this time you make it to where. Make him a little more subtle, I would say. You make him actually terrifying in this new movie, and I think the way to do that is kind of keep him in the shadows, and when you want to show him off as being this huge, like, really powerful character, go ahead and do it, like, in like, the last few moments of the movie. But, because I'm just saying I don't want a repeat of, what's his name? What's fucking Max Landis from Episode 7.
Are you talking about Kylo Ren?
Yes, him, Kylo Landis.
Max
so,
Landis.
so I don't want a repeat of that. So I really think they should go a little more subtle with Vader in this movie. Just kind of make him in the background, kind of being alluded to. He talks for a few things, saying, "Let me go after them." They're like, "No, we got it, Vader. You just sit your candy ass down." And then when there's no hope left, literally say, "All right, Vader, go get them," and then he just kills everyone.
Mm-hmm.
See, Luke, I'm happy you said all that, because
Yeah.
that kind of moved my my views on how I'd like Vader to be in the movie a little bit. I mean, I feel like Vader would be the one that's more like, okay, you're not getting the job done, I'm gonna do it myself, versus someone actually telling him to do it, unless it's the Emperor. But that'd be cool to see the Emperor in it too. But I agree with.
I mean, you just get a bunch of leather shoes and a little leather coat to be the Emperor, and that's fine.
Oh God. But I agree definitely with what you said about how to present Darth Vader. You know, you don't want to overexpose him, and everything. You really want to build up that threat, and it would be really cool if like they do that, and then the end of the movie is just him killing them all, and everything, like being that, you know, that terrifying presence that, you know, Darth Vader ends up being known for, and, you know, highly feared for throughout the galaxy. I think they're going to do it really well, actually. And I think what you said, Luke, can be done extremely effectively because of the director of this movie. This guy directed Godzilla, which basically lived off the whole premise of building up that tension, kind of teasing it, and then giving it to us at the end.
Well, okay, hold up. We probably shouldn't use 2014 Godzilla as a good example.
That was a good movie.
I like Godzilla.
I like it fine, but, you know, his approach to kind of building up tension and then leaving it away was literally show the monster and then cut away like 3 fucking times.
Are you serious? I was ecstatic when Godzilla.
I was really
like,
happy when
appeared,
Godzilla. Look,
and then
really
his like tail started lighting up and shit. I was like, "Oh, this is
okay,
about to happen."
okay,
like, he's
but
gonna
Josh,
do atomic breath.
Josh, there's like 2 hours or like an hour and a half of like boring bullshit to wade through before we get to that awesome.
Yeah, but I mean that's what the OG Godzilla movies were like.
I understand that, but I mean, even the OG Godzilla movies knew to stay on Godzilla for more than 10 seconds before the final. Like, they had to present him as being this terrifying figure, and literally the 2014 Godzilla was, here he is, and now here's a boring office army man talking to wife.
Pietro.
There he is on the TV.
Yeah, here's Quicksilver.
Yeah, there he is on the TV, and now here's army officials terrified of what we're not seeing. And then you can get the Godzilla laser light. I will admit, when he did his atomic breath, that was pretty cool. But I'm just saying, in terms of building up tension and stuff, Godzilla 2014 might not be the best example for that.
Well, he has a movie beforehand called
Monsters.
Yeah,
which is a lot better in my
opinion. I
opinion.
love Monsters a lot.
Yeah. But Luke kind of said a lot what I was thinking. I think they should, when they do show Darth Vader, he should come in like little bits, but just be ruthless like every time he's out. Like shows no mercy. And I think like it should be like a bare minimum. Like I feel like they should always kind of hint towards him and not really show him, and probably not like really show him until the last act of the film when he just starts like killing everyone. Because I feel like the only reason these characters are really gonna die would be probably by Darth Vader or whatever, unless there's like some other random general that's like crazy and then dies in this film. But I feel like they're gonna kind of bring back to everyone that's been hinted in 4, 5, and 6. I'm also on the same page with Luke. I like 7, but I've never seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. But I have seen Star Wars Rebels. You know.
I was about to say, if you're agreeing with me, then you'll not like Episode 7.
Well,
I liked
only saw
Episode
1,
7.
so I liked it. So
Love Episode 7.
I only saw 1.
Luke, you're in the minority here.
I guess I am. I don't know. I guess that's for a different episode. I'm not really going to talk about it because I know people are going to probably hate on it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Episode 7.
But yeah, like I honestly don't care if Darth Vader's in it or not, because again, I haven't seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I mean, the best way to describe Episode 7 is like Episode 7 is to A New Hope what Melania Trump's speech was to Michelle Obama's speech.
I don't think I go that far.
I don't know about that analogy.
Come on. The plots were like basically the same
the lore.
thing.
The lore lined up.
Okay.
I mean the speeches, not the people. Like,
okay, there were a lot. I admit there were a lot of things.
Wait,
about
did I just say that
familiar.
Melania Trump is Michelle? I meant their speeches, not the people themselves.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know that, but yeah, no, I know Episode 7 has a lot of stuff familiar from Episode 4. I get that. I still went to go see this movie 7 times because I thought.
But you saw it 7 times?
I saw it 7 times in the theater. Hell yeah. Yeah. I think I only
saw it once actually.
Yeah, I saw it
I
once
came
too.
to the theater one time actually, really like out of it, like with like 2 of my friends, and we just walked like straight in and went to the RPX showing and just sat there and started watching it. Like I even fell asleep in the theater like watching it. Like it was pretty crazy.
I saw it twice opening night.
Wait,
What?
weren't you working?
Well, I was working like the mid shift, and I got off at 7, so I went to go see the 8:00 show. Got out of that, and then I found out, some of the managers are going into like the 1:30 RPX show. Do you want to go see that? I'm like, yeah, why not? So I went in there and I watched it again.
You fucking dweebs.
Well, hey, watching the movie 7 times in the theater does not make me a dweeb. Collecting all the expanded universe books and games, now that makes me a dweeb. I'm currently reading.
James, did you start the Facebook page to fight Disney for the expanded universe to stay in canon? Are you the one that started that?
I can neither confirm nor deny. Although I will say I am extremely psyched that Grand Admiral Thrawn is coming back into canon.
So that is a win for us.
I'm kind of sad Mara Jade will never be in canon though, or at least not as Luke's wife.
Yeah.
Well,
references.
I didn't really read that much, Mara Jade EU. I think let's see. I think the only novel I really had, the only 2 books I really read that had Mara Jade prominently, there was a Survivor's Quest by Timothy Zahn, and then I read a Vector Prime by Salvatore.
How crazy would it be though if Rey was revealed to be Mara Jade? Like, so, but like instead of getting paired up with Luke, she got paired up with like Poe or whoever.
I think Poe's swinging for the same team, honestly.
I still think, though...
Oh, he definitely is.
That I definitely still think that John Boyega's character, who's like traitor, his name's slipping. Finn. I still think Finn should get Luke's old. He should get a new lightsaber, but like similar to how Captain America in Avengers 2 had it, he is because he doesn't have the Force. Obviously, he should have like a magnetic thing that lets him recall the lightsaber back to him.
I mean, I guess.
I think that'd be pretty dope. You know what I mean? Because we haven't really seen a non-force wielding lightsaber user since like General Grievous, really.
Yeah, I mean, probably because they suck ass, but
hey,
I mean, Finn was having trouble trying to hold his own.
The dude got beat by a fucking stormtrooper, like a lone stormtrooper.
This wasn't just any stormtrooper. This stormtrooper didn't have to shoot anything, so he was actually lethal.
This was TR-8R. This was no normal stormtrooper.
Traitor.
This was a man with a mission.
Traitor.
That was the greatest meme ever.
But
I would have
Darth
never
Vader
told
needs
me
to be OP.
that a stormtrooper meme would get started from that movie. Like I wouldn't believe it at first, but as soon as he like did the thing with like I think it wasn't a meme quality like scene until he did the whipping thing, like with that stick.
Yeah,
when he did that, that made it so funny.
It wasn't a meme thing until he just beats the shit out of one of the fucking main characters and gets saved and gets killed by an old man immediately after.
Hey, it wasn't just any old man. This was Han Solo.
It was Harrison Ford returning to a role that he hates with all of his guts.
Which is why they killed him.
That made me think of someone said you said Mark Hamill genuinely cares about the role. I was thinking of Harrison Ford, but I couldn't think of his name. Like, I was just like, he really doesn't want to be there.
Generally hates the role.
Yeah.
Hey, he did great.
I mean,
that's true.
just because he was dying, he was like, just give me the money so I can leave now.
Yeah, he was like a baker, wasn't he? Like, wasn't he like... Before he started acting, he was doing like nothing.
He didn't read the fine print that he'd have to return in the millions of solos and spin-offs as a ghost.
How funny would that be if he's just like a voice?
Are we seeing him in Rogue One? Like we hear his voice?
No, we're joking.
No.
I'm joking. No. Well, I mean, I'm joking, but that might be real. We don't know.
And besides, if it were Han Solo in Rogue One, it'd probably be the new Han Solo that they cast.
Oh, get that out of my head.
Boo.
Honestly, I could see him having like a cameo in the movie, like a quick
that's why I
scene
said
and stuff.
it. Like I really do think that might happen.
Wait, would he be young then?
Yeah. Which is, I mean,
it would be young
that
Han
may have been
Solo.
why they cast the young Han Solo already, so they
when does Rogue One take place?
Before 4.
Before Episode 4.
How long before Episode 4?
Like a couple of days before the events of Episode 4.
Okay,
so
hold up. He's like a 30-year-old beefcake hunk in Episode 4.
Did you call him Beefcake?
Yeah, he was a handsome man in Episode 4.
He was.
All right. Maybe we'll just have to wait for more info as to when the Han Solo movie takes place.
I'm just saying, like, if the young one shows up in Rogue One, that's a little weird, considering he's like, you know.
I mean, what they could do is they could digitally de-age Harrison Ford, like they did with.
Thank you.
Just like,
but
like
Harrison
an Ant-Man.
Ford doesn't want to come.
I mean, I know, but I mean, if he was willing to, they could
you.
digitally de-age him for like a quick scene.
But then, what's the point of having a younger one?
Boy, stop before I roast you.
Like, what's the point? What would be the point?
What's the point of the Star Wars universe?
There is no point because I don't know. They basically made Ben Solo is basically freaking Kylo Ren.
I can't wait.
Wait, even though Kylo Ren's basically Ben Solo anyways, so hold on.
Yeah, I was about to say what?
He's technically Ben's. Jesus.
He is Ben Solo. Yeah,
he is Ben Solo.
He's Harrison Ford's son.
There's no technicals about it.
Yeah, I mean, but they're doing the same plot line where he struggles with the dark and light. Anyways, that's it for this episode.
Except not as good.
We're gonna fight, Luke.
We will. I'm fine with that.
Who's gonna win in a fight? DC Luke or Earth Eagle GT? Comment below.
We'll make a special podcast, hour-long podcast about it.
Yeah. Also, go check out our Patreon. We're posting stuff up there early, like CBVS goes up there 11 days early, which is wild.
Whoa!
And I know it's wild because I'm the one who's putting it up there and editing it.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's a loose cannon. That's CJ.
No, I'm the one that's doing it.
Why did you say? I thought you said he.
No,
never mind.
I'm the one who's doing it. I'm the one who had the idea. CJ was at first like, "What? Are you sure?" I'm like,
Josh's self-loathing confirmed.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hey.
But yeah, that's about it. And I'll talk